Translate this, and I'll give your mom my job," he said, laughing so loud the whole restaurant turned to look. A billionaire's son, mocking a waitress and her little girl. He thought he was clever. He thought he was safe until that little black girl looked him dead in the eyes and answered him. In perfect Japanese, the room buzzed with the quiet confidence of wealth, the kind of silence that only expensive ceilings and crystal glasses can afford. It was a gala dinner at the Sterling Room, the city's most exclusive restaurant, where every meal cost more than most people's rent. At the center of the room sat Charles Armitage, a billionaire with silver hair and a sharper tongue. He was surrounded by clients, business partners, and his teenage son Chase, whose arrogance was as polished as his watch. Across the room, near the linen-draped tables, a woman moved quietly. Ava Coleman, a waitress, polite, composed, invisible, until life decided to make her visible. Renee had learned long ago that in rooms like this, dignity had to be worn like perfume, noticeable, but never overpowering. She was graceful, deliberate, and careful with every word. She didn't complain about the long hours or the aching feet, because she had a reason. At a small corner table by the service door sat her daughter, Ava, 9 years old, curls tied back neatly, a school book in her lap. Renee brought her to work on nights she couldn't afford a sitter. Ava didn't mind. She'd sit quietly, studying or sketching while her mother worked. Asterisk that night. As laughter filled the room, Ava's small voice whispered to her mother, "Mom, when you're done, can we go get ice cream?" Renee smiled. "If I can still stand up after this shift, baby?" Yes, it was one of those tiny promises mothers make to keep hope alive, even when exhaustion eats at their bones. Later that night, as Renee served dessert to Mr. Armitage's table, Chase, the billionaire's son, noticed Ava in the corner. Asterisk, he smirked. "Is that your daughter?" Renee smiled softly. "Yes, sir." He looked her up and down, then looked at his friends. "You bring her here often?" "Only when I have no choice," she said politely. Chase leaned back, grinning. "Guess she's getting an early start on." The family business, the table erupted in laughter. Renee's hands froze. The tray wobbled, glasses trembling. Her face stayed still, but her eyes betrayed the sting. Ava watched from her chair, her little hands clenching the edge of her notebook. That should have been the end of it, but arrogance doesn't stop when it sees kindness. It feeds on it. Chase pulled out his phone, the glow of the screen lighting his smug smile. He opened a translation app, typed something, and turned the screen toward Ava Tot. "Hey, kid," he called out across the room. "Translate this, and I'll give your mom my job." The crowd laughed. Cameras flashed. Even his father smirked. Renee felt her chest tighten. "Sir, please, she's just a child," he interrupted, voice booming. "Come on, it's just a joke. Let's see if she can even read." The laughter swelled like a cruel wave. Ava stood slowly. Her notebook slipped from her hands. Her mother's voice trembled. "Ava, honey," but the little girl walked forward step by steady step, until she stood beside the table facing them. Chase laughed again and shoved the phone toward her face. "Here," he said. "Say it. It's Japanese. Bet you don't even know what it means." Ava looked at the words once, twice. Then she tilted her head, eyes narrowing. When she spoke, her voice was calm, confident. Every syllable rolled out perfectly, fluent, melodic, unmistakably native. The laughter stopped. Every head turned. She repeated the sentence again, this time slower, correcting his pronunciation. Then she added softly, "But you used the wrong kanji. It means slave, not assistant. Maybe that's why your app got confused." Gasps rippled through the room. The billionaire's fork froze midair. His son's smirk vanished hands somewhere in the corner. A waiter whispered, "Did she just correct him?" Mr. Armitage leaned forward, stunned. "You speak Japanese?" Ava nodded. "My grandma taught me. She lived there for 10 years. Renee's voice quivered. She was a teacher in Tokyo before she passed. Ava smiled proudly. She said, knowing another language helps you understand people better. For a long moment, nobody spoke. The sound of ice clinking in glasses was the only noise. Then, slowly, the billionaire turned toward his son. His voice was soft. Too soft, apologized. Chase blinked. Dad, it was just, I said apologize. The boy swallowed hard. His pride evaporated. I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean to be rude. Renee nodded quietly. Ava gave a small bow, just as her grandmother had taught her. Mr. Armitage stood. His voice carried weight now, the weight of realization. Renee, he said, how long have you worked here? 3 years, sir. He nodded. Too long for someone who raised a child like that. He took a business card from his pocket and slid it toward her. I run an international education foundation. I want Ava enrolled in our Tokyo program. Full scholarship. Starting immediately? Renee's lips parted. Sir, I can't accept. He smiled faintly. You can, because she earned it. And maybe tonight I learned something too. He glanced at his son. Money can buy dinner, but it can't buy character, and just like that, the billionaire and his entourage stood, bowed to the waitress and her daughter, and left the restaurant in silence. When the doors closed, the room erupted, not in laughter this time, but applause. Staff clapped. Diners stood. Even the head chef peeked out from the kitchen. Shaking his head in awe, Renee knelt beside her daughter. Tears streaming freely now. You were amazing, she whispered. Ava smiled shyly. I just didn't like how he talked to you. Renee laughed softly through her tears. You did what I couldn't. You spoke truth with grace. Months later, a photograph appeared online, a young black girl in a neat school uniform standing in front of cherry blossoms in Tokyo. Holding a certificate, the caption read, Scholarship recipient, Ava Coleman, future translator, future leader. Somewhere halfway across the world. A billionaire's son saw the same picture on his feed. He didn't laugh this time. He simply stared and whispered, She earned it. Ava's story isn't about language. It's about what happens when kindness meets arrogance and wins. It's about a child who reminded the world that intelligence has no color. And dignity has no price tag, because sometimes the most powerful voice in the room doesn't come from the rich, but from a little girl brave enough to speak the truth in any language. If this story gave you chills, share it.com and where you're watching from and tell us. Have you ever seen someone underestimated until they proved everyone wrong? Subscribe for more cinematic stories that remind us, respect is the language everyone should learn.